I can only keep the Torrens in transit for 24 hours.
You'll have heard from us by then.
Safe trip.
MrMacRight presents 8 things you need to know about gaming on Mac computers. If you're a new Mac gamer, or have been one for a while, you might just learn something useful here. This video is full of Mac gaming facts, myths, common questions, and information to help you on your gaming paths.
Thanks, Hank.
It's Henry.
What, you don't like Hank?
Yeah, I don't like Hank.
But thanks rhymes with Hank.
No, it doesn't.
The first and most basic thing you need to know is that Macs can play games. To this day, many individuals don't know or don't believe that Macs have a huge catalogue of games. Well, in fact, Macs have a plentiful of amazing AAA games and fantastic indie titles. Not only that, but there are numerous places to find games, such as the Mac App Store, Steam, Origin, GOG, Epic Games, and the Mac Game Store. If you didn't know, Steam has now reached over 4,000 games available for macOS. So it is evident that the rate of new games has seen a huge increase lately, instead of it taking months to years to see a port. Some recent notable mentions to the Mac platform are Dying Light, Civilization 6, XCOM 2, Firewatch, and Rocket League. According to Mac Gamer HQ, 8 out of the 10 most played games on Steam have a Mac version, and all the best indies support the Mac too. Next, you can actually play Windows games on Mac. The great thing about owning a Macintosh computer is that Windows is extremely easy to install via Boot Camp, which allows you to boot into macOS or Windows. Or you can use virtual software such as Parallels or a wrapper such as Wineskin. Both of these allow you to run Windows games directly in macOS. Having these options gives you more possibilities for gaming on Mac computers, with access to almost all games and better gaming performance. In my opinion, Boot Camp is the best way to go, as it lets you run Windows natively, giving you better performance and no virtualization or emulation is involved. Just so you know, Windows is actually better designed for gaming than macOS. Mac has cross-platform play. Multiplayer is an important part of today's games, and so it stands to reason that it is important that Mac computers have cross-platform play available. Well, it actually does.
Okay, that was fun.
You can use your Mac to play with your friends who own a Windows or Mac computer. Now, I will add that not every game has cross-platform play, but there is an increasing number of games that support this feature. An example of this is the recent Mac game Dying Light, which features cross-platform play. Macs don't have the best operating system for gaming, or do they? There is a misconception going around that macOS isn't capable of running games. Now yes, to some extent this used to be true, as Apple's intention was never for gaming. But in recent years they have been promoting gaming. For example, at the 2015 WWDC, they showcased the upcoming Mac game Fortnite. Also, their hardware has seen a jump in performance, with faster processors and powerful graphics cards. It is also worth mentioning that it depends on which Mac model you run games on. For example, the iMac series is more efficient at running higher-end games than a MacBook or Mac Mini could. If you look at Mac Gamer HQ's website page, Can I Run It?, it shows a database of games running on macOS. A late 2013 27-inch iMac can run Rocket League at high settings, a resolution of 1920 by 1080, and an average frame rate of 39 FPS. And a 15-inch mid-2012 MacBook Pro can run Alien Isolation at high settings, a resolution of 1280 by 800, and an average frame rate of 47 FPS. Those results are not astonishing. but for a slightly old Mac, it's quite impressive. The macOS operating system comes with an inbuilt screen recorder, QuickTime Player, that can be used for gaming. The recording process is very easy and is a great starting tool for Let's Plays or tutorials. A few other notable screen recorders are ScreenFlow, which is the best for value, Snagit, which is a cheap recorder, Camtasia Studio, and my new favorite, the Elgato Game Capture HD. However, the setup for the Elgato is rather complicated, but the video quality is far superior. Moving on, Mac support external GPUs via Thunderbolt 2 and Thunderbolt 3. If you aren't happy with the specs of your Mac, you can actually attach an external GPU card to your Macintosh, plus a graphics card. This idea does sound interesting to many, but for now it's just way too expensive. Many companies have announced external solutions, but they cost around $500, support only Thunderbolt 3, and you need to buy a graphics card. There are other solutions via Thunderbolt 2, such as MacVid cards and Netcas. And another contender is Wolf, who brings high performance gaming and virtual reality to Mac. They are planning to bring more affordable external GPUs to Apple computers. Macs work great with gaming controllers. Macs actually have a large selection of gaming controllers on offer, and some notable mentions are the PlayStation controllers, the HorrorPad Ultimate controller from Apple, and the Steam controller. All these are great, as they can be easily set up on your Mac via Bluetooth or USB connection. In fact, I'd go as far to say that Macs offer the most simplistic process for installing and using gaming controllers. Next, you can play PS4 games on Mac via Remote Play. At the start of 2016, Sony released their new Remote Play app for Macintosh computers. This app allows gamers to play their favorite PlayStation 4 games remotely to their Mac. The setup is very simple, and if you're interested, I've included a link in the video description to a tutorial I did earlier this year that shows you how to download this application. Moving on, Macs now have a frame rate counter. Mac Gamer HQ has developed Count-It, the first real-time frames per second counter for Mac. This application is completely free and will allow Mac users to test, compare, and benchmark their Macs. It allows users to find the best settings for smooth gameplay at high settings. Figure out if your Macintosh can or cannot play a demanding game, and for benchmarking how different Macs run the same game. You can also share your results online to help create the ultimate benchmark database. Okay, so here is a little bonus. At the 2015 WWDC, Apple announced Metal for macOS.
We introduced Metal at WWDC as a way to accelerate graphics in high-performance games.
Metal is a set of 3D tools that should optimize GPU usage and maximize the graphics potential of your Mac. This all sounded amazing for gamers and even developers, as it was something that could transform Mac gaming to a whole new level. Sadly, a year went by and nothing occurred. However, recently a few companies have started to utilize Metal, such as Blizzard with World of Warcraft, Epic Games with the upcoming game Fortnite, and Feral Interactive with their upcoming game Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and Total War Warhammer. In fact, according to Mac Gamer HQ, World of Warcraft is said to be 61% faster using Metal. When Metal finally arrives on Mac, it will open more possibilities and will hopefully bring more and better games to Mac. Metal is exclusive to Apple, which might be a positive or a negative, as some think it will work against what we ultimately want: more cross-platform games. Do you enjoy gaming on Mac? Do you play Windows games on your Mac via Boot Camp or virtual software? I'd love to know in the comments. Also, let me know if I missed something important in this video. Let's have a conversation down in the comments, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one.
Remain true to the path, stranger, for it has only just begun.